If you need help with ABG interpretation, then this video is for you. You can easily solve these ABG interpretation problems by using the tic-tac-toe method. Save this video and follow me for more nursing school study materials and tips. There's three components to ABG interpretation. We have our blood pH, our partial pressure carbon dioxide, which represents respiratory, and our HCO3, which is bicarb, and that represents metabolic or the renal system. pH values are 7.35 to 7.45. Greater than 7.45 is alkalosis. Less than 7.35 is acidosis. Partial pressure carbon dioxide range is 35 to 45. Greater than 45 is acidosis. Okay, look at the difference. Less than 35 is alkalosis. Good way to remember the pH and your carbon dioxide. pH is 7.35 to 7.45. And then look, your respiratory, your carbon dioxide, 35 to 45. You see the common numbers there? Bicarb values are 22 to 26. Greater than 26 is alkalosis. Less than 22 is acidosis. Remember, with your respiratory, it's going to be reversed, okay, with the alkalosis and the acidosis versus your pH and your bicarb. So let's do a couple practice questions. I set this up as like a tic-tac-toe kind of, all right? So I have my column for my acid, I have my column for my normal values, and I have my column for my alkalosis or my base values, okay? So if we have a pH of 7.20, is that going to be acid, acidosis, normal, or alkalosis? Let's take a look at our values. Our pH, well, we know anything less than 7.35 is acidosis. So I'm going to take the pH and I'm just going to put it in the acid column. Now, for our carbon dioxide, it's a value of 48. Where does that fall at? All right, 35 to 45. Greater than 45 is acidosis. So I'm going to put it in my acid column for the carbon dioxide. And our bicarb, our HCO3, that's a value of 30. So our HCO3 values is 22 to 26. We know that greater than 26 is considered alkalosis. So that 30, that HCO3, I'm going to put in our alkalosis column. So now that we have our values laid out in our columns, what does this mean? We have these two together, these two in the same column, our pH and our CO2. All right. So this is going to be acidosis. All right. But what type of acidosis do we have? Well, let's look here. We have our CO2, which represents respiratory. So we have respiratory acidosis. And if we want to know if this is compensated or uncompensated, we're going to look over here at our bicarb. Our bicarb is all alone in a column by itself. So what this means is that our metabolic renal system is trying to help out our pH over here and bring it back to normal. So this is compensating for what is happening here with this acidosis. So our answer is respiratory acidosis partially compensated. Want me to make a video going over partially compensated, uncompensated, fully compensated? Let me know. I will gladly make another separate video for that. Don't totally understand what is still going on with this problem. That's okay. Let's work on a second problem. We have our acid column, our normal column, and our alkalosis column. Now our ABG values, we have a pH of 7.50. So where does that put us at? It's greater than 7.45, so that's going to put us in the alkalosis column. Now our CO2 is 44. Where does that fall in our CO2 range? That's considered normal. So I'm going to go ahead and put our CO2 in our normal column. And lastly, our HCO3, which is our bicarb, that's 32. So let's look at our range. It's greater than 26, so that makes it alkalosis. So we're going to put HCO3 in our alkalosis column. All right, so what would our answer be for this one? Let's take a look. We have our pH and our bicarb together in one column, so we know that part of this answer is going to be it's alkalosis, okay? What type of alkalosis is it? Is it going to be respiratory or metabolic? HCO3, what does that represent? That represents metabolic. So what do we have? We have metabolic alkalosis. Now, is this going to be considered compensated or uncompensated? Let's take a look at our CO2. Our CO2 is normal, which means it's not doing any type of compensation whatsoever. So it's normal. It hasn't started to help out our pH yet. So this is going to be uncompensated. Answer for this problem is metabolic alkalosis uncompensated. These were just 2 examples that I came up with. I'm going to post another video going over 2 other practice problems that you can try out on your own. I will post the answers with that as well, but the more practice you get, the better. Please let me know what other topics you'd like me to go over. If you want me to keep posting more practice problems like this, feel free to send me a message. I want to help you out as much as possible getting through nursing school. I remember how stressful it was. So go ahead, like and save this video, and follow me for more tips and tricks for nursing school.